Hello, juniors. We're going to look at author's purpose in a moment, but a couple of reminders. Today, part one of the author's purpose is due. Tomorrow, part two of the author's purpose is due, and then you submit it. Thursday, you answer the first discussion question and you respond. Friday, you answer the second discussion question and respond. On Monday, all of the assignments are due. So make sure that you get those discussion questions copied, pasted, and answered. And a video will come up or will go up on Thursday showing you exactly how to do that. So now let's look at the author's purpose assignment. So the author's purpose assignment, you have part one and part two. Part one and part two are the same, just what we read is different. Okay. When we look at something that we read, sometimes we have to figure out what the author's trying to tell us. And we can do that by recognizing different things in the reading piece. Here, you're going to look at what are called anecdotes, humorous descriptions, and social commentary. And if you need the definitions, they are up here. Okay, so an anecdote is a brief story that will illustrate a position or make a point. So whenever you read and the author is telling a story, or somebody in that work, that piece is telling a story, and it's to make a point, or if you've ever done that in your life, you're telling an anecdote. There will be a couple anecdotes in part one and part two. Okay. Second is the humorous description. Humorous description is funny, surprising, clever turn of phrase, image, funny, awkward situation, putting something there to cause humor. Okay. Anecdotes and humorous descriptions, they can provide social commentary, and social commentary is what you see on Twitter every day, on social media every day, where people are giving their opinion and commenting on what's going on in society. If you look at things like TikTok, lots of social commentary on there. Okay. So they have something meaningful to say. So in the passage that you read in part one, you're going to read about an engineer and the gentleman talking about these three people. You're going to look for the anecdote, the humorous description, and how does that provide social commentary. Okay. Answers must be a minimum of 3 sentences. So try to get that done. Okay. Which part of the passage would you identify as the anecdote? So which one is the brief story used to illustrate a point? Okay. Where is that in there? Question 2. What was the function of the anecdote in the passage? So what did the anecdote do, or what did it prove? What is it trying to do? Okay. And if an anecdote tells a point, if it's making a position or a point, then what is the function of this anecdote? What point does it make? Okay. What part of the passage qualifies as a humorous description? What is funny? Okay, in there. If it's funny, what does that do to lead to the social commentary? And then what kind of social commentary does the passage present? What is it trying to make us think about in society? Okay. Part two is the exact same thing. So remember, go back up to your definitions. They're all right here. Okay. In part two, it asks the same questions. It will say, which part of the passage would you identify as the first anecdote? So there's going to be an anecdote in here, and then there will be a second anecdote. Remember, an anecdote is a story that kind of proves a point, that shows a point. Okay. What part of the passage is the second anecdote? What was the function of these anecdotes? Both of them. So don't just talk about one, talk about both. What part of the passage qualifies as a humorous description? And then what kind of social commentary does the passage present? Okay. When you're answering the questions, if you use textual evidence, you don't have to cite anything. Okay. If you're going to copy and paste the anecdote, okay, like which part of the passage would you identify as the first anecdote? And you're going to copy and paste from up here, make sure that you tell me, hey, this is the anecdote. Don't just copy and paste. Okay. Copy and paste it and explain how it's the anecdote. Let me know. That way I know that you know that it's an anecdote and you are not just copying. Okay. If you have any questions about part one or part two, send me an email, send me a Jupiter message, and I got you. Okay. Part one is due Tuesday. So you can work on part one. And then part two, which is on the same document, is due on Wednesday. So make sure you turn them both in by Wednesday. If you're a little bit late on them, that's fine. Just remember, all assignments need to be due by Monday of next week. And that is how you look at the author's purpose.